I couldn't even finish the entire thing, but I pretty much let Chris Noel get the gist out about Sasquatch ghosts. But he's like, nothing about this species suggests that they're anything more than physical. And I just think it's completely ridiculous. Look at the Fur and Cedar channel. They're having psychic communication with Sasquatch. Are you thinking that they're Sasquatch ghosts? What about the orbs? Are those ghosts or are those physical people? I told you Wes Germer has told Chris in the interview he did on the Sasquatch Chronicles podcast, which he probably needs to go re listen to, that people have seen them disappear right in front of them. So he thinks that they can't be non-physical, but I mean, I'm speaking from experience. I don't think I was visited by Sasquatch ghosts. I think I'm visited by creatures who, for whatever reason, are, coming to me. I've asked to have Sasquatch spirit guides because I'm out in the woods and I want to be accepted by these creatures, and I don't want them to think that I'm just, you know, out there like and every other human being is. But furthermore, when I had a psychic reading in Boulder, Colorado, back in the late '90s, early 2000s, the first thing this woman said to me is, "Wow, you have a lot of friends with you," and she was amazed at the amount of spirits that were with me. So I wouldn't put it past myself or her vision or the possibility that I had actually had Sasquatch with me back then, knowing that they were going to be coming and be a valuable part of my life at a certain time in my life, even though I wasn't really into Bigfoot back then. So she might have seen the Bigfoot, for all I know, with me back then, and they were waiting for their time. He's talking about ghosts being real. I've had a visitation from my grandfather beyond the grave, where one night somebody was shaking me awake in my sleep in an apartment, and I'm going, I live by myself and I lock my doors. There should be nobody waking me up out of my sleep right now. And I rolled over, and my grandfather was laying there in the bed next to me, gave me a big smile, and I just felt comforted and loved, and I went right back to sleep. But it was a very vivid, real experience. But to suggest that the Sasquatch ghosts are doing all these things is just pretty absurd to me. Now, when I did have my interview on the Xeno Hunters channel, he's like, "Oh, interesting, kind of like a poltergeist kind of experience," because we had some door handles like this, and I was talking about my daughter one time, and all of a sudden, the door goes like that. When I told my wife, "Hey, let's be quiet. We don't want to wake up the kid because we're fighting, and I don't want to have her hear us arguing." But I don't think it was a ghost that did that. I think it's a real creature, and I think they take an interest in you, and they, like I said, they've been seen walking through the wall in my house. I've told that story numerous times. It's only happened once when I first was married, but my wife saw two of them walk right through the wall, right behind me, and right through an interior wall. And when I asked her what she saw and what she was reacting to, she didn't want to initially tell me because she didn't know I was so into the Bigfoot. And I walked out into the living room, and my front door was unlocked and wide open, a foot or two. And I just thought, what the frig? And then once she told me that the Bigfoot walked through the wall and then through the interior wall, it's like in like a straight line with the front door. So they must have gone right out the front door and kind of left a sign for me like, "Hey, we can mess with you in the physical." But do I think that's ghosts? No. I think Chris Noel is more dismissive than accepting of the experiences of Sasquatch experiencers, and he wants to dismiss away anything or be the I don't know if it's for his own just to feel like he has all the answers and so he can be this authority figure, but it needs to be he's like he lacks the awe and wonder to even have the experience. He's like denying any potential experience he could be having by trying to come up with a theory for everything instead of just accepting this is happening. Same with Mike Patterson. It's not a ghost, dude. It's Nephitia. It's the one talking to him. It's the other ones in the woods leaving the one footprint. But, Chris is just... the more, I like his research. I was totally into his research when he was going out and having interactions with the creatures. But now, just his theories are friggin' ridiculous. So it's just, you're not going to like everybody, but just I'm like, what is with this guy? I just don't get why he's got to come up with these theories about Sasquatch and explain away things that people are experiencing and think he knows what he's talking about when he's not even experiencing it himself. He's kind of an idiot. It's like me interpreting your sexual encounter. You know nothing about it. I know nothing about it. Why would I be talking about your experiences? Because I heard it. It's all hearsay. It's absolutely ridiculous that Chris thinks he knows what's going on with these creatures, and it's arrogance at the point of insultation when he's talking about these things and trying to dismiss it. I don't know if he listened to my interview I did with Sasquatch, Illinois Sasquatch, because we covered some of these topics again, and it's just ironic timing that Chris would be bringing some of this stuff up, topics that were covered in my interview with Don of Illinois Sasquatch. But I mean, Chris, he blocked me. He doesn't want my commentary on there contradicting his theories, because he's got that group following, and he's trying to lead his group and his flock, just like a lot of these Bigfoot guys are out there. And if you actually have something that contradicts what they believe, they just want to cut you out of the picture so they can create this homogenized, acceptability factor, which is just ridiculous, because now he's going to get people thinking that Sasquatch ghosts are out there, and you're going to have people even more confused and more idiots out there thinking, not knowing what to think, thinking, well, Chris is the leader of the group, we got to think what he thinks. And go ahead, Pied Pipers of the Bigfoot world, do your thing. But I'm going to just go ahead and present the evidence as it is, and let you know my feelings on the matter, so that you can know that I definitely don't think the Bigfoot ghosts have any interest in humanity. And I think they do go into a spiritual form, and as I talked in the interview with Don, maybe they can see the timeline a little bit differently than humanity can, and maybe they have abilities that we don't have, and they are here to teach us and are not just back from the dead. But I've had objects moved in my home, right in front of me. I've seen a knife slide across a plate. I've seen a glass ornamental figure completely tip over. Forest Beings was trying to mock me about my incident here with some Danish butter cookies, a blue tin of Danish butter cookies on the top of my fridge that can not only once but twice went flying off the fridge, landing on the floor. There was no earthquake happening, okay? Things don't just go flying off the top of your fridge. So I know that the Sasquatch are doing that to communicate. And if you think it's a ghost Bigfoot, I mean, I think it's utterly ridiculous. Why couldn't it just be a ghost human, for that matter? But it happens when I'm doing Sasquatch research, or I'm making a video about Sasquatch, or I have the Sasquatch on my mind. I have a video, I'm not sure which one it is. I think I'm talking about Michael Merchant in the video. I could be wrong, but I was filming the video in the laptop camera, and I could see two orbs flying behind my head. And I was so deep in thought that I was on track, but consciously I knew in my head, what the hell is that behind me? And then after I filmed the video, I realized, oh my God, I could see those. And I looked back in the video when I published it, and there's actually a streak of light that one ends up making on the video. But that's just like Wes Germer talks about these orbs the size of a basketball. Well, these ones were like the size of a large marble or something flying behind my head. And I don't mean to bring up the marble issue, that just is the size that they happen to be. And I've never had marbles fall out of the sky like Sasquatch Ontario has, but he's had independent witnesses confirm that marbles will manifest out of nothing. And that Fur and Cedar channel confirmed that. So if you watch the nearly 2-hour documentary they made on Sasquatch Ontario, you can learn a lot more than listening to Chris Noel's 3-minute, 7-minute opinion on the matter, which I think is more dismissive than all-inclusive, if anything. But just putting it out there because, like I said, I can't make commentary on his videos, and he doesn't want to hear it, but it needs to be said. So have a nice day.